Gale, his neck. Grihite, being embraced or encircled by his arms. Utsrashtum, to give up. Na ashaknot, was not able. Adbhuta arbhakam, this wonderful child who was different from an ordinary child. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Vaicharana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Because of Krishna's weight, Trinavarta considered him to be like a great mountain or a hunk of iron. But because Krishna had caught the demon's neck, the demon was unable to throw him off. He therefore thought of the child as wonderful, since he could neither bear the child nor cast aside the burden. I'll repeat the translation. Because of Krishna's weight, Trinavarta considered him to be like a great mountain or a hunk of iron. But because Krishna had caught the demon's neck, the demon was unable to throw him off. He therefore thought of the child as wonderful, since he could neither bear the child nor cast aside the burden. Purport. Trinavarta intended to take up Krishna in the sky and kill him, but Krishna enjoyed the pastime of riding on Trinavarta's body and traveling for a while in the sky. Thus Trinavarta's attempt to kill Krishna failed, while Krishna, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha, enjoyed this pastime. Now, since Trinavarta was falling because of Krishna's heaviness, he wanted to save himself by throwing Krishna off from his neck, but was unable to do so because Krishna held him very tightly. Consequently, this would be the last time for Trinavarta's yogic power. Now he was going to die by the arrangement of Krishna. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 7, Text 27 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Here we see as the demon Trinavarta took Krishna up in the sky, intending to throw Krishna from the sky and kill him. But when Trinavarta picked up Krishna from the ground, Krishna was very light. And at that time Krishna used this Laghima Siddhi, being very light. Then when Trinavarta took him on his back, Krishna exhibited his Mahima Siddhi. That means becoming heavier than the heaviest. So Krishna can keep alternating his siddhis. Sometimes he'll become light, sometimes he'll become heavy. Whatever Krishna wants. For Krishna, mystic power is a plaything. At will, he will exercise, call for whatever he needs. Because the Lord is supremely independent and transcendently independent, whatever he wants, whenever he wants, all his energies are immediately available to serve the Lord. So mystic powers are also energies of the Lord. So they are meant to serve Krishna's purpose. Hmm? Just like whenever Krishna wants, immediately Sudarshana is available. Immediately Sudarshan is available. Similarly, all of the mystic powers are available for Krishna at will. So Krishna wanted to become heavier, he became heavier. And Trinavarta also has exercised his yogic power at that point of time. And he became, although Trinavarta is very strong and powerful, still Krishna became more heavier and stronger and powerful than Trinavarta, and that caused bewilderment to Trinavarta. And how much heavier Krishna became, that's described here. Tam manyamana ashmanam. Trinavarta thought, manyamanaha, he thought tam, Krishna became heavier like ashmanam. Ashmanam means stone, but here Prabhupada translates interestingly, if you see in the word to word meaning, very heavy stone like a lump of iron. See, iron by its intrinsic nature is very heavy. A small piece of iron is heavier. And the stone similar to the weight of an iron. The stone also can be, because iron is very, very heavy. So stone like a lump of iron. That means that stone was very heavy. Prabhupada translates it as like a great mountain or a hunk of iron. Hunk means a chunk. Some lump of iron. So he became heavier like a mountain. So how can Trinavarta possibly bear a mountain? Very difficult. Okay, Krishna became heavier. So let me get rid of Krishna and save myself, because Krishna caught hold of Trinavarta's neck. Probably like a support for him. It's just like you hold a railing, you go on the rooster coaster, you holding, you hold, because it will shake you so much, right? So maybe Krishna, instead of catching Trinavarta's shoulder, he caught Krishna caught Trinavarta's neck. But that was detrimental for Trinavarta. Krishna caught the demon's neck. The demon is unable to cast away Krishna. Krishna is not leaving him. At that time, Trinavarta thought of the child as wonderful. Adbhuta Arbakam, what a wonderful child. My power, somebody is overpowering my power. So Trinavarta became overwhelmed, became actually bewildered by Krishna's display of Mahima Siddhi. Sometimes powerful fighters, when they meet each other, they also appreciate, even though they want to defeat the opponent, sometimes by seeing the wonderful power or strength of the opponent, they, at least within their heart, will appreciate, great, wow, very powerful, very strong, quite a tough competition, isn't it? Otherwise, there is no real thrill. In every field, it is like that. Whether they may be in friendship with the other person or not, even if one is inimical, still if the opponent is very powerful, it will strike them. Oh my God, it's very powerful. He's very wonderful. Just like even in school also we see sometimes the first rank, the second rank, the third rank student, all in the almost marginal difference between all of them, but still they will wonder, oh, very, very intelligent, very clever, very sharp. Wow, like that they say, right? So like that. The Trinavarta is seeing, oh, because demons have lot of mystic power, lot of mystic power. They have a lot of material strength, lot of material intelligence. But only thing is they're demoniac. They use for demonic purposes. That is described in the Bhagavad Gita, dushkritinaha, as opposed to sukritinaha. Devotees are Sukritinaha and non-devotees are Dushkritinaha. Uh, Kritina means, Prabhupada says, deed. Sukritina means meritorious deed, an action which is appreciable, an act of merit. Dushkritina means demerit, bad work, bad job, bad work, doing something bad. Hmm? So, demons are very intelligent materially, but they misuse the God given intelligence. That is the difference. So, the Supreme Lord can do anything and everything at His will. That is His disposition. It is not what is acquired. It is His disposition. Disposition means something which is natural for the Lord. So whatever He wills, He can become. Therefore we say, like Krishna, He can become very light, He can become very heavy, He can become very small, Anima Siddhi, He can become very big. Like Krishna can display Vishwarupa at will. Doesn't have to make any arrangements, any preparation. If He wants, immediately He'll display His universal form. He can display His cosmic form. If He wants, He can become very small, like a saligram, where you can put Him in a box and carry with you in your bag. You can put Him in the pocket also. So sannyasis put Him in the box and they carry with them. Prabhupada says one lecture. The Lord can become so small like a saligram, you put Him in a box and take Him. But otherwise, He is Ananta like Vishwarupa. Where to do Arati? 7 circles where you will see. Very difficult. And how are you going to dress Him? Which dress can you stitch for Vishwarupa? What are the size of the dress? One place Prabhupada says. What jewelry will you put Him? Like our Janmashtami time, we had ordered jewelry for the Lord. New dress and new jewelry from Vrindavan. So then the jeweler asked, Swamiji, give the dimensions. What are the neck chain, chest chain, navel level chain, waist belt, the bangles. We all gave the, I told the Pujari, got the dimensions, measurements, all in centimeters. So we put the Lord jewelry in terms of centimeter, but if He becomes Vishwarupa, which meter are you going to use? So, should not play with God. As the saying goes, don't play with fire. So should not play with God. He is foolish creatures like Trinavarta. Childish. So, then He can be present in the spiritual world, simultaneously can be present here. He can be present for everyone. How is it possible? I can be present to one person at a time. I can be present in a location at a given point in time. How can I be simultaneously present everywhere? So God is present. Simultaneously, everywhere He can be present. Why only here or there? Everywhere He can be present. So He is omnipresent. So, like that, the Lord has so many energies, powers He can use in His pastimes. So this time Krishna decided, let me become heavier and play little time with Trinavarta. See, the Lord is so kind, He is playing not only with His devotees, He is also playing with non-devotees. The only difference is if you recognize, you are fortunate. If you don't recognize, you give up Krishna's friendship. See, Krishna is willing to play with Trinavarta. See, he had a, Prabhupada says here, Trinavarta intended to take up Krishna in the sky and kill him. See Trinavarta's intention. But Krishna, you see, Krishna enjoyed the pastime of riding on Trinavarta's body and traveling for a while in the sky. So Krishna had a nice time with Trinavarta. Krishna played with Trinavarta. But if Trinavarta would have realized that, he would have become a devotee. He does not realize. He takes Krishna as his enemy. I have to kill him. But Krishna is playing. If you had got that sense, it would have been so. Trinavarta would have been so fortunate. So, uh, so whether a demon or a devotee, both will come to know God, but in their own terms. This is an important point to note. Huh? Demon or simply a non-devotee and a devotee, both will come to know God, but in their own terms. So then, who is a devotee, who is a non-devotee? Or a demon? The difference is, how do you make out the difference, devotee and non-devotee? Devotee, by seeing and understanding the Lord, surrenders to Him and desires to become His devotee. A living entity, seeing the beautiful nature of the Lord, understanding the Lord's transcendental position from the scriptures, a living entity wants to become a devotee of the Lord, and he surrenders to the Lord and thereby becomes a devotee and becomes known as a devotee. On the other hand, a demon or a non-devotee, he does not want to surrender to the Lord even after seeing or even understanding. See, the Lord is the same, but what you want to conclude or extract from the Lord is different. The conclusion which the non-devotee comes to is different from the conclusion which the devotee comes to. Therefore, one becomes a non-devotee, one becomes a demon. Same Lord, how is it different people are seeing differently? Same Lord. This is nicely described in Bhagavatam by Lord Brahma in his prayers to Krishna after the Brahma Vimohana Leela. Very nice prayer. A famous prayer, Prabhupada quotes this many times. So, different living entities or different persons look at the same Lord differently. That depends on their disposition. Lord has this disposition, the living entity also has his disposition or understanding. So he comes to the conclusion because of his disposition or his understanding or his observation or his association or realization. So that is why our learning, understanding, association, realization must be from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Otherwise you'll be misled. You'll become something else than becoming devotee of the Lord. So same Lord, how is it different people are seen differently? By the disposition. So that Brahma explains. Itham satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena mayashritanam naradarakena sakam vijahru krita punya punja. It's a very nice verse. This verse describes 4 kinds of people who look at the same Lord differently. So what is that? Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya. The impersonalists, they look at the Lord as their object of realization. That means impersonal Brahman. So when they saw Krishna, the Jnanis, even when Krishna was present 5,000 years back, personally, Shyama Sundara was present, but they impersonally saw Krishna as, oh, my object of jnana, jnana yoga. Brahman, that Brahman is standing in front of me. Brahma Sukha Anubhutya. Then Dasyam Gatanam, as far as the devotees are concerned, they saw, oh, my master, the supreme controller, the supreme Lord is there. Dasyam Gatanam. Then Naradarakena Maya Ashtitanam. The third category of people, those who are Maya Ashtita, who are under the influence of Maya, material energy, they saw Krishna as Naradarakena, an ordinary human being. Those who are covered by Maya. material energy. They saw the same Supreme Lord as ordinary person. Then, Sakam, the friends of Krishna, the Gopas, Vijahru, Kritapunya Punja. Vijahru means they enjoyed Krishna's association, Krishna's friendship as Krishna's friends, Vijahru. So, Brahma is saying, don't think that these boys are ordinary boys of this material world. So, gopis are not ordinary girls of this world. Gopas are also not ordinary boys of this world. Then what are they? Who are they? Krita Punya Punja. Krita means have performed. Punya Punja means for millions of lives they have acquired or earned sukruti or spiritual credits to be able to play with Krishna. Get the eligibility to play with Krishna. So, here we see that different kinds of people, they perceive the same Lord, understand the same Lord in different ways. So, although the Lord exhibits His power, His qualities, His nature, still sometimes non-devotees are not moved, they are not convinced. Trinavarta, he saw how wonderful Krishna is. He saw how wonderful Krishna is. But yet he failed to surrender. Even after seeing the wonder of Krishna, he failed to surrender to Krishna. See? And become devotee of the Lord. So this is their great misfortune. Actually, this wonderful nature of Krishna, wonderful mystic power of Krishna should have made him bow down to Krishna. This is sometimes we see, as I gave that example, you see somebody more powerful, more intelligent, more stronger than you, you will submit to that person. You will bow down to that person. Somebody exhibits more intelligence than you, more power than you. Even though you are very powerful, actually you will say like this. Sometimes you won't even become a student. That is humility. That is the right consciousness. Somebody, if we see more qualified, I will actually submit and surrender. It is natural. But here, we see Trinavarta, when he is seeing the extraordinary power of God or Krishna, instead of being influenced by Krishna's power and glory, he is not surrendering. He is not becoming devotee. The devotee, more and more the Lord exhibits its transcendental qualities, more and more he is convinced about the Lord's wonderful qualities. Adbhuta, nature of the Lord. The devotee becomes more and more convinced. And the non-devotee, even though he observes the wonderful nature of the Lord, he goes away from the Lord. Why? This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, text 15. Krishna has explained 4 kinds of persons do not become devotees of Krishna, will not surrender to Krishna. So Trinavarta is also one among that category. 4 kinds of persons, they don't surrender to God. Even they will see God's power, God's wonderful qualities, everything. But what happens to them? That is described. Who are the 4 kinds of persons? Dushkritinaha. Namam Dushkritinaha. The first category of person is those who don't surrender and don't become devotee of the Lord. First category of them is Dushkritinaha, miscreants. Those are miscreants. Always doing wrong things. Opposite number. Shastra say do this, they'll do opposite. They'll not do that. So miscreants, always doing wrong things. Dushkritinaha. Then second category is mudha, foolish, grossly foolish persons. They don't have intelligence. Then third category of persons are naradhama. Those are lowest of the mankind. Lowest human. In terms of the nature. Then, uh, Asuram Bhavam, one who is demoniac by nature or simply a non-devotee. So these four kinds of persons, so Prabhupada translates this. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, and whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake means they endorse, partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Krishna says that. So these four kinds of people, they don't surrender to God. And naturally they'll not become devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Yei bhaje sei bada abhakta hina chara. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, anyone who is a devotee is sinless and is very glorious. He is sinless and also glorious. But one who is not a devotee, however, is the most fallen and condemned. Chara. Chara means most condemned and fallen. So anyone who takes to devotional service, Yei bhaje, is exalted, bada. Whereas a non-devotee is always condemned and abominable. So because these are demoniac by nature, they don't become devotees. That is why sometimes it is said, there is one famous British philosopher, Bertrand Russell, very famous. We have studied in our literature books in the high school level. Bertrand Russell, he said, a stupid man's report of what a clever man says can never be accurate, because he unconsciously translates what he hears into something he can understand. You see? Interesting, right? I'll repeat. A stupid man's report of what a clever man says can never be accurate. It implies that truth evades those who lack intellectual or perceptual capacity to grasp it. This is what we say, no? See, even if we read Prabhupada's books or even original Bhagavad Gita, you will still read that through your filter, through your intelligence, through your perception, your opinion, your analysis. You have to be free from all of these things and accept as the Acharya says, as Krishna says. Not that what Krishna says, that also you filter and then you give an explanation to that. That's the problem. That's what is being said. A stupid man's report of what a clever man says can never be accurate. So these demons interpret. So Krishna is exhibiting his knowledge, his power, his beauty, but they'll interpret in their way. Pascal is a French mathematician. He is also a physicist. Very famous, Pascal also. We study Pascal's law. As students, high school students study that Pascal's law. So he said, very interesting. He warns that presumption of knowing truth is itself a barrier to discovering it. See? Very interesting, right? Got the point? What he's saying is, if you already think you know the truth, that itself is a problem to know the truth. So in other words, in approaching truth, one must approach it with all nakedness. That means you don't have your opinions before you understand it. You understand it in its own dimension or explanation. Understand as it is. You don't use your faculty to understand it. That is the problem. So, presumption of knowing truth is itself a barrier to discovering it. If you think, I already know God, Krishna, just like Trinavarta is thinking, oh, I know this Krishna. Kamsa is thinking, I know this small boy. Duryodhana, oh, you're a trickster. Already is pre-assuming. Slate is already filled up, not slate clean. Then you can't understand God. So we have to take away all the presumptions of the so-called knowledge which I have about the Supreme Lord, about scriptures, about spiritual world. and make it slate clean. Then you go to the Acharya. Then Acharya also can do good to you. Socrates is a Greek philosopher. He said, truth requires humility and courage. And many times we are not ready to face the truth. So therefore, we don't want to hear the truth, or we don't want to know the truth. The demons are like that. Right in front, the truth is striking. Krishna, the supreme truth. And Krishna is not even truth, the supreme truth. And supreme absolute truth, not even relative truth. And still, demons will not accept. So, interesting to note, it requires humility and courage to accept truth. That means, even though somebody may exhibit knowledge, power, strength, actually he lacks humility and courage. Actually, he's not willing to accept the truth. They are not ready to face it. Plato was a student. He was a Greek philosopher. He said, interestingly, the philosopher is in love with truth. That is, not with the changing world of sensation. See, a philosopher means he is a lover of truth. Devotee is a natural philosopher. Why? Because we are interested in truth. So all devotees are philosophers. All devotees are philosophers. Because we are interested in truth. So a philosopher is in love with truth. That is, not with a changing world of sensation, which is the object of opinion, but with the changing reality, which is the object of knowledge. Simple words. Truth is not accessible to those who remain in the realm of opinion and sensory illusion. See how even karmis also realize so much. Very deeply they have realized. So if you're in the world of opinions, according to me, you are far away from truth. That means far away from Shastra, because Shastra means truth. Synonym for truth is Shastra, not myth. Synonym for truth. Another meaning for Shastra, truth is Shastra, scriptures. Because scriptures are 100%, scriptures present 100% truth. They are not interested in presenting something false or something which is yet to be verified. No, there is a standard of Shastra. This is discussed in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Shastra is accepted as the supreme authority because there are no mistakes, illusions, interpretations, misleading things in Shastra. Therefore, we accept Shastra with such authority. So, no wonder these non-devotees cannot understand God, because they're in the realm of opinions, they're speculators, they don't have humility and courage, they presume they know the truth. They read a clever man's report through their stupid spectacles of their intelligence, prism of imperfect intelligence. So how will they come to understand God? They don't approach authorities or parampara, guru parampara. How will they understand God? And why will they surrender? Because they have not understood God perfectly. So they will not surrender. Therefore they will not become devotee. Elsewhere Prabhupada says even Ananta could not understand God. And these demons want to understand Krishna. So they will only end up in misreading the Lord. Necessarily. So Krishna therefore says in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatmataha. Even among thousands and thousands of perfected beings, hardly one knows me in truth, Krishna is saying. Therefore, there's a famous saying, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. That means non-devotees jump into conclusion. Oh, Krishna is an ordinary child, ordinary baby. Arey, Even angels fear to rush in. Devatas are very uh, uh, carefully they're approaching Krishna. Like we see his picture, that picture there, Brahma. See, he comes and bows down to Krishna with all awe and reverence. So fools rush where angels fear to tread. Hare Krishna is such a great personality. Even Devatas are very careful in approaching the Lord. Very sensitive, very careful. And these foolish persons, they want to even forget approaching God, attack God also. How foolish they must be. So therefore such persons, no wonder why they don't understand God. Surrendering to God is the last thing which the demonic person will do. Even conditioned souls, we have come to this world not to surrender to God. Then why will we surrender? So if somebody surrenders, he becomes a Mahatma. If somebody surrenders to God, he becomes a Mahatma. At that time, he becomes a devotee. Actually, he is a devotee. We're all practicing devotees, not devotee. So actually, we become devotee when we become Mahatma, when you surrender to the Lord with knowledge. So to become a devotee is a very rare thing. And to become friend of Krishna, like the Gopas, very, very rare. Sakam vijahru krita punya punja. The last point is how foolish Trinavarta is, not knowing the power of God and trying to even attempt to kill God. How foolish is. And for Krishna, it was a jolly ride. See, Trinavarta, there is anxiety, frustration, anger mounting because of the defeat of his mystic power by Krishna's supreme mystic power. But for Krishna, there is no anxiety. He's having a jolly ride. No frustration. He's enjoying. Actually, killing the demon is the least thing for Krishna. The Lord need not exert at all in killing demons. Even the most powerful demon. Lord has to exert the least effort. You see in the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, text 7 and 8, if you read, Krishna says, just a small glimpse, Krishna gives what he is. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpada visijamayaham. See, what is Krishna's position? O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, every material manifestation enters into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I again create. Then Krishna says, the whole cosmic order is under me. By my will, it is manifested again and again. And by my will, it is annihilated at the end. So the point in these two verses is, Krishna simply by his will, he can even destroy the whole cosmos. Forget universe. Whole cosmos. Just by his willing. And if Krishna wills, again he will create. Just by the Lord's willing, not even exerting effort, physically, even mentally, even intellectually. For Krishna, there is no effort. He just got to decide, think, that's all. Whole cosmic manifestation is wound up, destroyed. Or this Chutku demon, small fellow, showing his power. Krishna will crush him off. You can just appreciate. Killing of demon is not a very big thing. Very insignificant thing. Whole universe can be destroyed by the Lord. In the 9th chapter, in the 8th chapter, previous chapter, Krishna says, similarly, living entities. Even their manifestation and non-manifestation is by the will of the Lord. That is in the 8th chapter. 9th chapter, Krishna is saying with the universe itself. Manifestation and non-manifestation is by his will. So what do you speak of killing demons? Very small thing for Krishna. Therefore, it is a pastime. Lord enjoyed it. So when the demons are sweating, the Lord is enjoying a jolly ride. This is the difference between the Lord and the demon. So we'll see what happens afterwards. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.